One more thing I'd like to say, what made me think about the previous video on this channel, is that people keep asking, is this a symptom of the virus? Is that a symptom of the virus? And so on. And they're becoming hyper aware now of their little quirks here and there that they might otherwise have thought, it's nothing. Or, they normally would have thought, perhaps I'm getting cold, but it doesn't matter. Just go about your business. And they discover they're not getting a cold anyway. It was just some anomaly, right? But now they're hyper aware of certain things. And I found myself doing that. And it's a stressful situation in the world when there is a lot of stress because of the stress of how we need to adapt to stop spreading this, and how we need to adapt to many other things as well. In some ways it's an increasingly fragmented world, but I think there's going to be a plateau somewhere in which we form a launch pad and we progress. We always do. If you look at technological prowess or progress throughout history, we always plateau, we find a flat level, and then suddenly we launch pad. We come off that launch pad and off we go again and again. We make these quantum leaps. So, of course, it's going to be stressful at the moment, which will cause headaches with some people. When you get stressed, you get a headache. Stress hormones can rise, giving you more susceptibility to infection from other things as well. So we see this. Are headaches a symptom of this virus? It's not a question worth asking because of everything I've just said. People get headaches all the time. Get a stress headache at work when it was just 2 people on staff asking us to do way too much work for 2 people. I had words with a manager about that, and I was taken on board. I said, I am a man, but I'm not Superman. I won't be doing that again. You get somebody else helping out if there's that much work to be done. And fair enough. I think words were already said anyway. From what I could tell from I'm learning about body language, but I still haven't shouted out some of those videos. I think words were said prior. I could tell, and I was being buttered up a bit, but saying, the assistant manager said I've been a rock over the last few days, because the manager wasn't there to see the troubles we've had trying to handle all our work, but because we've got to watch the door as well, working in retail, because it's a small amount of space with customers moving around, so we've got to watch the door, only allow so many people in at once. And unfortunately, people are dumb. They just walk in. They won't. During the high peak, the first high peak, we're kind of in a second wave now. People are, is it okay to come in? They just walk in. Just because you're wearing a mask doesn't mean just walk in. They stand there and ask, please. And if there's nobody there, wait till somebody comes along. It's not rocket science. They know it's a small space in the shop as well. Rub 2 brain cells together, please, for the sake of the sanity of other people. But that kind of gives me a headache. The stress of that. What gave me a headache another time was trying to research through, and the penny dropped how stupid I was being, because there was a lot of clever ways in which information was presented on, is 5G bad for your health? Is our mobile phones as well bad for your health because of the radiation off the phone and so on? what was obvious is can't be bad, or if it is, then just normal sunlight is way more detrimental than anything 5G could be capable of, because you're looking at a frequency way below anything as strong as just normal sunlight, right? That was obvious on the electromagnetic spectrum. Your light in the middle, or just in the middle to the right a bit. And then you got 5G is on the microwave spectrum all the way down. It's just chosen because it's ideal. It's a very clear wavelength. It's not interfered with anything else either. It's just 5G is going to be utterly amazing in speed, in terms of speed of information transfer as well. And we had people trying to burn down phone masts, claiming that 5G was causing the virus. It was utterly stupid. It gave me a headache to try and trawl through information that seemed to be, on the surface, they seem to be, here's a scientific analysis, here's the lack of conclusion. Here, however, there's something, how we would reframe this, maybe this. Here's a scientific analysis. However, there's the lack of conclusion. It just went round and round and round. And it was just like, where's your answer? I'm looking at all this information. It was all bunk. From Nexus Magazine, by the way, which is full of crap. But occasionally you get an article in there that is legitimately sound and holds itself up, like the sugar replacement Exitol is shown that it's, because I took an interest in that because I had this tooth taken out recently, and I was thinking about all the sugars that cause decay and so on in your teeth. Exitol is disabling some of the bacteria that's encouraged, that's in our mouth naturally, that gets to work on creating the acidic environment that erodes your teeth. Alright, and it's not getting rid of good bacteria that could be beneficial for your mouth as well, getting rid of infection and so on as well. But it's helping people, and it may somewhat reverse or stop any decay that's already started as well. And there was a lot of science to back it up. It went somewhere. Didn't come to a dead end and then reframe it, but what if, and then another dead end and then reframe it. It was just, that gave me a headache looking for all that. I was just kicking myself thinking, how stupid could I be? It's down here. Light is up here. How can it be that bad? X-rays are all the way up here, by the way, and they can potentially, scientifically, potentially be bad for us because they penetrate right through your flesh, and that's how an X-ray works. It goes right through, and the bounce back though would be off your bones, right? Because they're more dense, and that's what X-rays are for. But this is a problem. Is like, let's pretend to be scientific, and some of it was actual. They're going sciencey and scientific language over how frequencies work and how it could cause heat within a closed space, a frequency, causing vibration between particles and so on. Yeah, fine. But if you got, they couldn't come up with any answers. A whole shitload of information. That was all hot air. Really. So I made an article at Exploratory Minds for that. I did my due diligence, I did my research, and I put up the reasoning as to, obviously, it's not bad for your health. It's not a problem. It's not causing any cancers. It's not. There's no evidence for that. It's certainly not causing viruses. And mobile phone masts being burnt down from idiots thinking, it's spreading 5G is spreading the pandemic. They were burning down masts that didn't have 5G technology anyway. So they lose on that level. They lose on another level is these nuts probably got smartphones and phones themselves anyway, and they discover, there's no coverage. No, because you just brought down the phone mast, you dim-witted nut. It's a very comical world. We are a psychotic species collectively. There's something very fundamentally wrong with us all here. The trick is to recognise it and do our best to work on it, rather than bury our heads in fantasy and narcissism and egotism, pretend it's not happening, right? Particularly criminals who cause theft, are guilty of theft, perjury and fraud. Yeah. And they keep repeating it. Why do they keep repeating it? Because they're living in a fantasy world that's so comfortable for them. And great, glossy escapism is ideal sometimes, but to live it in denial of the shit that's hitting the fan in the world, that's a big problem, because it will catch up and bite you on the ass. It always does. So, thanks for watching anyway. You take care and hope you're well and safe. Peace out. Bye.